Okay, we're heading to the home of a friend of mine, and we're going to, as best as possible, try to not disengage. That might not be possible. So at this point here, I'm on Lynn Valley Road. I'm going to double tap. That engages. So we're in full self-driving. Try and get comfortable here. I have the iPhone to give a wide view through the windshield. I have this camera here to give a view of myself, and I have that camera up there to show the details of the touchscreen. I mean, we can always do that and give you a better look at it. For now, when I need to see the map, I can pull it back again. I'm going to let the camera run continuously. We're looking at possibly a 14 or 15 minute ride. Afterwards, in the editing, I can speed up the parts that are super boring and no need to have them in their entirety. But for now, every now and then I have to touch the steering wheel. It's going to jink to the right now. Yes, it did. It even indicated. Road splits and goes left down there, down Mountain Highway. And I'll tell you what it's going to do. We're in the right lane, but this single lane opens up into two lanes. And because it's going to be turning right onto the freeway in a while, I think it's going to cut over the intersection and go to the right lane immediately. And I'm not sure whether it'll put the indicator on, because really we can go into either lane. There's no car to our right that we would be bumping into. So let's see what that does. Again, you can see here exactly what the car is seeing, and the lights have changed to green, and they have there. I'm going to touch the wheel every now and then. Here we go, to the right, immediately. So that's a perfectly legitimate maneuver. It had the choice of the left or the right lane, but it knows that we have a right turn coming up onto Route 1 Canada, heading west out toward West Vancouver, but we'll be turning up before that. So I've tried to include a section of road with traffic lights, which is this, a section of freeway driving, which is what we're going to be coming onto there, and then some real windy, curvy back roads that lead us to the house that we're going to. So right now, 800 meters before we turn onto the freeway, onto Route 1. And this is pretty much plain sailing because it is straight. We will be going through 1, 2, 3 more sets of lights. And then we're turning right onto the freeway. So it'll give a chance to demonstrate how the car merges. But the animations are always impressive. You know, look, that truck pointing in the right direction in its driveway was perfectly visible on the screen. So now we have a bike lane on the right, and Red Dragon moved confidently to the left to get right away from the poles. And here's one of the buses. Many buses come on Lynn Valley Road, and I think that one's probably going to get into the left lane and turn off at some point. But here's the last set of lights. Now, it's always the case that when we disengage, sometimes it's for the reason that the car completely did the wrong thing. It went into the wrong lane. It just messed up. But most of the time, it's through our own embarrassment. Why? Well, because the car's behaving like it's a 16-year-old new driver who's not quite sure what they're actually doing. And so people behind must think, what is this driver? Now, look, it's indicated. And I've moved my camera up to the top. You can pull it around pretty much anywhere. Well, there, or there. And I've left it on the top because, as you can see, I don't have the round steering wheel any longer. I have the yoke. And I can see clearly my line of sight is fully to... now what's going to happen now? A car was behind. Red Dragon didn't speed up enough, but suddenly it picked up speed, and suddenly it went. So it was realizing that the other car was waiting for us. The other car was not trying to get beyond me. So that was a bit of an embarrassing moment, and it's a demonstration of what I was talking about when I said that, we have this, should I intervene or should I not? But, it did a good job there, and I wasn't going to intervene for no reason at all. So looking back up, I can see the camera light behind me, and I can see that the GoPro and the phone are all working. I'm going to speed up a little bit. I know it's 80, but honestly, everyone's going literally 100. So I'll put my max, and you saw what I did. I just flicked on the little wheel, and that pushes it up by 5 kilometers with each flick of the wheel. Now on 2.9K, we are turning off onto Capilano Road, and that's the road that goes all the way up to a Grouse Mountain, to the cable car, and of course to the area where the house that I'm traveling to is located. Police ahead. Don't quite know what, but it's 2 police vehicles having a chat with each other. So I want you to notice that the car, although we were only traveling 81, and I've got the max on 100, it's not actually jumping into the left lane to pass. And here's the reason why. In just 2 kilometers, or 1.9, we are going to be turning right into Capilano. And I'd rather that the car stayed in the lane that was appropriate for the turnoff than that it tried to get into the last moment. Now here we have to, there's a merge happening in a lovely Model Y, dirty, but it's a Model Y, and Red Dragon is holding back. It's allowing the Model Y just to come in smoothly. Very well handled. That was great. The Model Y could see that I was holding back for him, and he jumped in. So in about just over 1K, we're turning off right and heading up to Capilano Road. Those of you who are locals, who live in North Vancouver or here, you know the roads. You know where I'm going, how the turnoff will be, and you live here after all. Deliberately not turned on Spotify and the streaming because, you know what happens. Oops. Now you see, it slowed down considerably because it wasn't sure if the Model Y had turned off inadvertently and it was sitting in that right-hand lane. But it soon picked it up, and let's just touch the steering wheel again, as you saw there. Here's the turnoff right ahead of us. So, takes the turnoff very well, indicates in time, moves across. Now it should stick closer to the right-hand side because we're turning right and we're heading up Capilano. Yeah, that's good. Now it has to actually get into the other lane. And it does. That was uncertain. I have mentioned before in previous videos, that's good, that's smooth. I've mentioned before that the weakest part of, stay where you are, car, the weakest part of full self-driving, in my estimation at the moment, is selection of lanes. Selection of lanes that is either too late, too early, inappropriate, and of course that's one of the reasons for the so-called Tesla recall, where the press gleefully told us that 360,000 Teslas are being recalled. They're not. They're receiving an over-the-air update within a period of 2 months. That's it. There's no recall. It doesn't cost anything. Now what are we going to do here? See, we can't. And yeah, that's not good. Actually, I didn't have the map up, so it might have been wanting to turn there. So we'll have to get back into the main lane here. It's going to take us up and then right. So when it does turn red, we want to take off quickly. Yeah, there we go. It did. It did. Okay, so we're going to be turning right in a while. It's very good with traffic lights. It's extremely good. It slows down properly, appropriately. It picks up speed appropriately. Now you can see we have a turn off not too far from now. So let's just see how it handles that. Well, so far it's doing a great job on all these curves. The road curves a lot, and now we have to turn right. It indicates, follows this car. Nice. It was cautious, but it moved smoothly, and now it's going and following the car basically, but that's part of where we've mapped it to. Have to remember to keep touching the wheel all the time. Remember, as I said in yesterday's video, officially we're at level 2. Practically speaking, we're in 3 and 4 at most of the time. But Tesla cannot say that, because then it might cause the regulators to come down hard on them. So we're going to have a left turn here. But it is a stop street. So my guess is that it will stop, check that there's no one coming left, and go. Cannot complain about that. Now, this is a series of winding curves traveling in all directions, and I'm really interested to see how it handles it, because there are a few stops. There are some acute turns. Notice how it moved away from the cars that were parked, even going a little bit over the yellow line, but doing it for the interest of safety, ensuring that we didn't get near. Now he slows down. Red Dragon slows down, goes a little wide, doesn't want to go too near that Tesla. Every bit of that is what I would do as a human. Every single bit, just like a human. Okay, we're going a little bit of a easy stretch here. And then we come up to quite a hairpin bend up at the top there. We'll see how it handles that. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, really cannot complain. All of this has been just perfect. Just perfect. So, this is the part where it's a pretty sharp bend here. You can see ahead. But beautifully handled. The car slowed ever so slightly, and now it's got to go right. Now, it thinks it's a stop, but it isn't. So, can I fault it on that? There we go. It did want to make sure that there was no cross traffic. So again, this is pretty easy riding, but you notice the road is not marked. So it's keeping to the right because it's a wide road, but the road is not marked, and yet it's doing a pretty good job. So it looks to make sure there's nothing coming from either side. I know that officially that is not a stop street, but I'd much rather the car stopped to check if anything was coming than that it just barreled straight through and we sit there panicking. So now it's going to have to turn left at some point, which is here. Now again, doesn't have a stop sign, but look, there was a Amazon Prime delivery van, and now it moves across. There we go. Beautiful, folks. This is truly impressive. Every time I get an update, it's smoother and more responsive and less jerky. Yeah, so the house is at the end of this road. Basically, we've arrived at our destination, and I'm going to just kick it off. There we go. I'm out of it because I want to see whether anyone's home here. Obviously, they're waiting for an Amazon Prime delivery, and let me summarize here. This is a convenient driveway. I'm truly impressed. I know we've been talking about what level of autonomy is Tesla at. Is it 2 or 3 or 4? Officially, it's a 2. I can tell you for a certainty that level 3 and levels 4 are where it actually lives and operates. Right now, I was able to drive here, set the navigation from home, let it travel, and honestly, I don't recall having to intervene. I do recall that it was slow at one point. I'll have to go back and look at the footage, but my feeling was beautifully executed. Smooth turns around the curves. Good stopping even where it wasn't an official stop street, because there was the possibility, as you saw with the Amazon Prime van, of a car just coming across our path. So it's getting there. I can tell you it's getting there. Now, obviously, there are other things. A lot of people in my last video mentioned phantom braking is still an issue. I'm not experiencing it to any degree in this car. I know that it often happens on a freeway where there's a bridge and there's a shadow and the sun is very bright and so the shadow is very dark. But I have not experienced it for a long time, and I think the car is, every single update is an improvement. Every single time I see software update, I take it for a drive, it feels better. So that's it for today, just a quick little out and about drive. Thanks for following the channel, and look, those of you who don't always agree with everything that I say, it's good to have differences of opinion sometimes. I always try and justify mine, and I always go to the comment section and I reply. So if you have questions about this ride, go down into the comment section, drop a comment, I will reply to it. Also, if you've not subscribed, and 74% of people who view my videos have not subscribed, I'd really love it if you just go down there and where it's down there and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and join us on the journey to true full self-driving in the months, or hopefully not the years, but in the months to come. Thanks once again, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers for now.